Hey everybody, my name is YSTV, back again with another video. Today we are hopping back into r/pettyrevenge, another subreddit that you guys seem to like a lot, so here I am making another video for you guys. Also, I'd like to thank you all for 6K, the growth has been exponential, it's truly amazing, and I look forward to keeping you entertained. Anyway, let's hop right into today's video. Hello everybody, so this story takes place in 7th grade in the US, and back then, I went to social studies with a teacher who I'll call Mr. B. Mr. B liked to make really dumb rules, and one of the rules he put in place was restrict the usage of the bathrooms by students. Anyways, I really had to go and he wouldn't let me. This is how the conversation went. Me: Mr. B, can I go to the bathroom? No. But Mr. B, I really have to go. If you really have to go, then you'll have to wait till the end of class. So I sat down and little 7th grade me was mad that he wouldn't let me go to the restroom. So I came up with a plan. You see, not only did I have to go, I also had to fart. Badly. But before I went, I asked Mr. B one more time if I could go to the bathroom. He said no again and told me to sit down. So I did it and then I farted. It was glorious. It was uber loud as well as smelly. After I farted, the entire class turned toward me and laughed. But after they were done, they put their shirts over their noses, cause like I said, it was uber smelly. After this occurred, I turned toward Mr. B and asked if I could use the restroom. He then blushed and then said I could. And then when I returned to his class the next period, the bathroom ban was lifted. The actions of one can affect others in a positive or negative way. In this one, it did both. Smelled like hell, but at least it lifted some rules, right? When I was 15, my mom moved in her boyfriend and his daughter. We will call her T. There wasn't an extra bedroom, so T, 14, moved into my room. I was only there half of the time, so it wasn't too bad, at first. Flash forward a year. I'm 16, working after school and only there every other week. It's obvious that my roommate resents me. I put up a collage of pictures of my friends, and she decides she's bi and starts a collage of half-naked women on the wall above her head. I come home from a week at Dad's, and she had crossed over into my collage, covering my pictures. I complain to my mom, who tells her that she needs to share our space, so T puts a line of duct tape on the wall to separate our areas. I notice my clothes are disappearing. I tell my mom I think T is taking my clothes, and mom tells me I probably just left what I was looking for at my dad's. I promise her that's not the case, so she asks T, who of course denies it. My mom says I must be mistaken. One day after 2 days out of school sick while at my dad's, I see T at school wearing one of my favorite missing shirts. She sees me, says, "Oh crap," and takes off in the other direction. I tell mom and she says it was probably a mistake. T locks me out of our shared room when her friends come over. I know mom won't do crap about it, so I learned how to pick our bedroom door lock with a bobby pin so I could get in. Though not my ultimate petty revenge, my face when I strolled in was great. Shortly after the move-in, the boyfriend had quit his job. He never bothered to get a new one. Eventually, my mom got tired of busting her ass to support her 2 kids, him and his kids, and she kicked him out. She didn't want him back in the house, so she asked me to pack all T's stuff. I said absolutely and began packing her stuff. I knew she often kicked things under her bed, so I reach under and start pulling things out. A huge shopping bag stuffed with clothes comes out. I dump it and find every last thing I had told my mom she had taken. I reclaim my stuff and showed my mom, who apologized. I continue pulling stuff out when, to my horror, comes out a dirty pad. What the actual hell? Who had a garbage can? Disgusted. I was about to take it out to the trash when I realized she might have been saving it for something important. So I tossed it in the box with the rest of her stuff, washed my hands thoroughly, and sent the boxes on their way to her. It felt good. I'm sure it did. Like, this is the ultimate way to get revenge, throwing your dirty pad in someone's box. This is gonna be an unpleasant surprise when they find out, so at least she got her revenge and found her clothes too. It's pretty satisfying that she got her stuff back. For a little background info, this happened back when I was about 14 and my brother was probably about 17. Our parents were divorced, and at the time, Big Bro, BB, lived with my dad. My other siblings and I would occasionally visit for the holidays because we lived across the country. This is important. And I think we were there for spring break for about 2 weeks. BB wasn't used to living with us, so he treated us very rough and basically be an asshole. If he was mad at us, he'd get aggressive and do something like hit us or intimidate because he was significantly bigger than me, considering he's about 10 inches taller and I'm a below average person in height. I kinda always had to take it and not fight back because I really didn't stand a chance physically. I was sick of the constant brutality from him, and one day I just happened to see him put his password in his phone. BB had just gotten a new girlfriend who he texted all the time, but he frequently ignored everyone else who texted him because of it. Keeping all that in mind, I knew we had a whole week left until our flight back home with our mom, so I started planning. I stuck through a whole nother week waiting until the morning of our flight. We woke up around 3 AM to pack and go, and of course BB was still asleep. I quickly snuck into his room, got into his phone, and swapped my mom's contact with his girlfriend's and got out. I stayed quiet about the whole thing and only internally celebrated on the safety of the plane taking me further away from my brother. It wasn't until we landed we got in my mom's car that it was brought up. My mother starts asking us, "Hey, do you know why BB is being weird? He keeps sending me strange messages and he never replies to me. Did something happen to him?" I asked my mom to see the messages, and there they were, innuendos and awkward things to send to your mom. I lost it and told my mom what happened, and she thought it was hilarious. We decided to call him to let him know he was sending stuff to his mom and not his girlfriend. He ended up getting really angry and embarrassed, but he was too far away to do anything to me. Well, hopefully he didn't send any questionable quote-unquote images, because that would be really awkward, but that's a good way of getting revenge. Like, imagine if his girlfriend texted him, she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "I'm good, mom." Like, wait, what? It's kind of awkward. But they were on the other side of the country and he couldn't do anything. So I'm a 14-year-old guy in high school. I'm very small, I'm ginger, have glasses, I like comics and Doctor Who, and I'm really just a nerd. So I'm the perfect person to pick on, especially considering I have bad social anxiety, which makes me unable to say a lot back. Anyways, here's the story. So since I was 12, there's been this person in my class, I'll call him N, who hates me for no reason. He'd constantly walk past and say, "Ew." If he got my book to hand out, he'd see it and drop it as if it were gross. He then proceeded to get a lot worse. Don't really need to know. Anyway, so on Monday my science class seats get moved around and I end up sitting next to N. I really enjoy science. Not really a surprise. I'm not the best at it, but I try hard. I'm not naturally smart and cannot remember my own name, lol. Anyway, so I do get some questions right. So there was a test today. N isn't good at science. He leaned over to me and said, "What's the answer to question 2? So I forgot to mention, my handwriting is horrendous. You can't read a word of it, so I always have to mark my own work, but it does mean that N can't just look over to my test to see the answer. So my reply is, it absorbs all the light, almost like a black hole. The question and answer was actually absorb and reflect. 2 minutes later, N, "What type of wave is a light wave?" "Atomic wave." It sounded sciencey. Anyways, this goes on for a few more questions. I made up some sciencey new words and things. I can't wait till next week when he gets back the results. Sometimes even if you're a nerd, you can have all the power, like that for instance, copying someone and getting the answer wrong. He probably failed that test, and of course he deserved it too. After reading through a bunch of stories here, I was reminded of my senior year in high school when we had to do a project for chemistry class. I wanted to do something creative that was inclusive of my class because everyone in there was lovely. Well, all except for one. This girl, Jane, and I were never really close, but I always thought we were okay in terms until this one day when I was walking into the library. She calls on me and asks if I finished my chemistry homework. Me, being unable to say no, I nodded and pulled it out for her to copy. As she did so, I was sitting with my headphones put in, but I actually wasn't listening to music, just kinda enjoying the quiet library. Anyway, a few minutes later and another one of Jane's friends walk in and they're talking about random stuff until she gets to saying something along the lines of, "Oh, yeah, I only talk to people I don't like when I need something." And although I wasn't looking at her, I could clearly see she was talking about me when she said that. Upset that I couldn't find the courage to tell her off and not wanting to get in trouble for letting her copy my work, I decided to enact my revenge by completely forgetting to add her in my end of the year project. I had ended up deciding to draw a comic of the class with everyone in there, and in the middle, there's a panel of the entire class, except there's this huge empty spot where Jane should have been. As everyone laughed at their own characters, I clearly heard her ask, "Where am I supposed to be?" in an offended tone. She never talked to me again after that, and everyone else loved the comic, so it was a win-win. I feel like at the same time this story could go in r/entitled people because she just sounds like an entitled little stuck-up hoe. But it was nice that I got to let her copy her homework, but at the end, he won. Everyone else got to have a good laugh at the comic and she was left out in the corner, so props to him. Even though he didn't directly confront her, he still got her back. So it was worth it in the end. So this was years ago when I worked at a sandwich shop chain and was working my usual closing shift. I had worked there for several years, putting myself through school, and I was very good at dealing with the late night customers who would come in, usually drunk. One quiet night, the store was clean and we were about half an hour away from closing. 4 young gentlemen come in. 2 are happy drunk, 1 is mean, obnoxious drunk, and 1 is sober and obviously the designated driver. They order their food and go and sit in a corner. I'm putting stuff away and really looking forward to closing. They're loud and laughing like crazy, but there are no other customers in the store and they're generally behaving themselves. So that's fine. Being drunk guy is the loudest and saying a bunch of sexist BS, but it's not directed at me and frankly, I just want to go home. Closing time. I tell the guys politely that we're closing up and to have a good night. Mean drunk guy gets mad at me, saying that he just wants to stay and finish his sub. Knowing if I insist that they leave right now, he will freak out further. I say, it's okay for them to stay while they finish. I start carrying stuff to the back and the mean drunk guy keeps ranting, then finally yells, "Fine, we're freaking leaving," and stands up, takes the last quarter of his pizza sub and punts it, football style, across the restaurant. I'm standing there in the back watching the security video feed and kind of frozen, mouth open. They all laugh and leave. I head to the front door and lock it and then take a look at the damage. Pizza sauce on the ceiling and several tables, and the 4 of them left all their garbage on their table. But the pizza sauce is the worst because I'm gonna have to get out this big ladder to wipe up all the splotches. Fine, I do that, then I go to clean the table. Lo and behold, there's a wallet underneath all that garbage. I finish cleaning and I take the wallet to the back counter and leave it there while I continue to close up the store. A car pulls up and the designated driver gets out and knocks on the glass door. I go to the door and open it. "Hey, my friend left his wallet here. Did you see it?" I tell him yes, then let him in. While I'm walking to the back counter, he apologizes to me for his mean drunk friend. I walk to the front counter. Is this it? I asked him, holding it up. Yes. This belongs to your friend who kicked his sandwich? Yeah. Again, I'm sorry about that. I open the wallet. How about that? There's $40 in there. I take it out, look designated driver straight in the eye, put the money in my back pocket and hand over the wallet. Designated driver laughs, says thanks, then leaves. What I like right here is that the designated driver felt some empathy. He didn't care that they took the money. He was chill with it. He just kind of like laughed. He's like, oh, sorry. Also, they got 40 bucks. I think 40 bucks is worth cleaning up a mess. So in the end, they won that one out. The revenge was definitely worth it. Alright guys, I'm going to conclude today's video there. Thank you for all the support and thank you for watching. As I post this video, we're about to hit 7K. If you guys haven't already, my Discord link is in the description and I talk to people all the time down there. Like, I'm literally active 24/7. And also, I have an Instagram, link is in the description for that as well. Like I said, if you're new, be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more, and have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.